Well, what is going on, Eagles Nation? And we lied. Weekly Chirp is back. Stephen Hellmann alongside Tom Aresco, and we bit off more than we can chew.
Yeah, the Wentz Files is going to be a series that
it's going to be great.
It's gonna have to wait though. Hopefully it's going to be great, but it takes a while to put those videos together, and we just want to keep coming with the content. We're both really wrapped up because we have jobs and we're adults and living that adult life, and that's just not fun. But what we love doing, what is fun.
Making birds videos.
We don't want to lose out.
So
and there's always stuff to talk about. I didn't even think it's possible. We're a week away from the draft or so, and there's still rumors coming out. So the hottest rumor lately is that Christian McCaffrey got a draft guarantee from one of the teams in the teens. Now, what do you make of that?
I don't think it's us.
I'll tell you what, teams
better not be
always tell that to prospects. If you read Alshon Jeffrey's, and this is just one example, I've heard it countless times, and I can go through players, but if you read Jeffrey's Players Tribune article to Chicago, he said that I think he did say that the Chicago Bears told him, we're going to draft you if you're available, whatever, and then I think either he might have said that, I don't even know, but he might have said that a lot of teams told him that, but the fact the Bears actually did it was crazy. But I know I've heard things like that before. I know
Randy Moss, the Cowboys told him they were going to draft him.
Yeah, I know, and they didn't, and they passed on him, and he was nuts. But Colin Kaepernick said that. I remember a draft interview. He was like one of those prospects that was anywhere from the 2nd to the 7th round type deal, and he was like, teams are telling me, once he got drafted by the Niners, I think it was the 2nd round, he was like, teams were telling me they were going to take me in the 1st round. Like, the teams were like really high on me and like stuff like that. And I thought I was going to go higher, but then there was, a lot of buzz about, maybe me slipping because of, some of the skill sets. So the bottom line is, not to get off track too far, obviously teams are going to tell that to a guy. So when they do, whoever they get, they tell it to everyone. So whoever they get, they're like, hey, told you we were going to get you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, some teams do that. And maybe a team did. Maybe it was us. Maybe it was the Colts. Maybe, but either way, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is the board's going to fall how it's going to fall, and we're going to see what happens, and it's going to be crazy. But, what would you think if we did take Christian McCaffrey?
I'd hate it.
You would hate it?
Every down back. Get Dalvin Cook.
Yeah,
that's it. I'm ready for the draft.
Yeah, I like Dalvin better. I like Dalvin better for sure. And obviously everyone knows that. But, if it meant taking McCaffrey over a defensive end or a cornerback, I would personally prefer that. I want more offensive weapons. I think our defense is really good. And, it's obviously not elite, but it's a good defense that can get better. And I think a cornerback in the 2nd round and some offensive help will really help us.
Yeah, cornerback in the 2nd's good. Don't want a DN. Yeah, Vinny Curry, just let him play. Get a DN next year.
Yeah, it sucks because Vinny Curry's not good, and you shouldn't, just hold someone to, he has to play because of the contract. But it's like, you're going to keep him no matter what.
But you also have Chris Long on a 1-year deal too, so let those guys just play this year.
Let them go out there.
You're okay at D-line.
Yeah,
you're fine. You're pretty good. It's just that you have one weak spot, so it's like you're fine.
No bad defenses have talent at every level of the ball. We're really weak at cornerback, but that's like it. They have 2 really good safeties. They're not, the best of all time, but that's a really good safety tandem that they have compared to the rest of the league. They have Nigel Bradham and Jordan Hicks, and that's 2 really good linebackers that start in the NFL. Hicks has the chance to become one of those, one of the best inside linebackers in football, and Nigel Bradham, just a really good outside linebacker for the 4-3, had a really good year. And then your D-line, you have Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Timmy Jernigan, and then you have Chris Long and Vinny Curry. So, you're a little bit weak at that spot, but I don't think it's really the year. I think that cornerback has to be the top pick on defense, and I think that's going to happen in the 2nd round because of the slight drop-off that there is between the top 5 corners and the other 11 of them that people like.
Sure.
So, that's kind of how I feel about it. And then I just feel like, in the top 14, you can get one of the premier offensive weapons in this draft. There's a good handful of them, and I think that getting one of those guys and him coming in and not having so much pressure to be the only playmaker or the number 1 playmaker on the team with guys like Alshon Jeffrey, with a guy like Zach Ertz who's been here for a while, with Darren Sproles, being in a role where he can make a big play at any time. Jordan Matthews, who's got experience with Wentz. Torrey Smith, who takes the top off of a defense. At a professional level, he's proven he can at least poses the threat to do that. And then you have the young guys like Nelson Aguilar and Dorial Green-Beckham, who are not rookies anymore. They're not old, but they've got a couple years and they're going into those stage where they need to make a name for themselves. So bringing in another offensive weapon to that group of guys, plus a pretty solid offensive line that's deep and prepared to be shuffled up if may be. Two of the best tackles in football, and that's you plug in. This is the perfect time. It's like everything's padded for one more guy to come in as a rookie from this first round and just be a threat and be someone that makes a difference from week 1 on. And that's what I'm looking for. And I think that if there was one or two specific cornerbacks that were 100%, the top 2 guys, and they were just so much better than the rest of then maybe I'd want one of them. But I just don't see that. I think that cornerbacks that will fit on this team for what we need will be available in the second round. And, there might even be a guy in the third round that you can maybe take a gamble on. So that's kind of how it's laid out. And I really do believe that this fan base will be, maybe there's a lot of people that want, defense, corner, all that so bad right now. But if they go offense, like running back or receiver, I'm telling you, the fan base will be forever grateful because they'll be able to see a guy on the field making big plays every week, shuffling in with that playmaking skill guys that we have. And I really think it'll show much more than getting a guy that could get buried on the depth chart like at the end or kind of like Brandon Graham did early in his career. It's very hard to transition in the NFL, and you don't just draft a guy and assume he's definitely a starter and elite player. And running back is a little different, and adding a weapon like a running back or a receiver into this offense, I feel like there's no way you can miss if you just get one of these top guys. I just think it's the perfect situation for a guy to come into and immediately make plays. And on defense, I don't think that's so much the case to put a first rounder up to the task of what our defense. There is. I just named. There's a lot of talent. Putting a guy on an island like a cornerback is going to be tough, and a lot of man coverage. You're going against top receivers, and then D end is this. You got competition to compete against to get reps. So that's going to be tough.
Yeah, no, I'm just ready for a draft.
Yeah,
I'm so done speculating. You need a running back because running back's going to impact the game way more than anyone else you're going to get in the draft this year. And you need a running back. It's just you need a guy to run the ball.
Yeah, you do.
That's just it.
I think a lot of people are losing sight of that. They're really stuck on this.
Who's going to run it? If we don't.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
Ryan Matthews. You can get a guy later, but why not? You need it so bad. Why not just take one of those elite
if he's
running
good,
backs?
Who cares if he's drafted in the first round? No one's going to care about that at all.
Yeah, it's actually good. It's like, wow, we drafted a good player in the first round. Now you draft a guy like Fournette, Dalvin Cook, and I think even McCaffrey, just as a weapon, I think would be a really, big time player.
Yeah. If you're all about Wentz and building around him, then you can't sit there and be like, let's go defense in the first round. If you're all about, we got to build around Wentz, then you get him a running back.
Yeah, get him a running game. Yep.
That's like the biggest thing a quarterback can need. So if you're all about Wentz, don't be like, we should just get a corner in the first game. Because we don't, we're good. Offense is good. Like, no, get him a running back. Then he's good to go.
Yeah, exactly. Once you pick that running back, and he's the guy, you just don't need to worry about offense, other than maybe the offensive line getting another tackle to replace Peters. But other than that, you have a lot of guys in place that can take over as starters and transition this line. So you get a running back, and he makes some dynamic. Gives you a dynamic threat. It's just, we've said it all off season and all leading up to the draft, and I just think that it's the offense is perfectly padded for this guy to come in and just be a stud from day one, from 2017 and on, and years to come. And you see what teams do with running games around the league. Obviously, in our own division with Dallas, they dominate the ball. They put so much pressure on opponents because they move the ball effortlessly. They score points. And teams are catching up to them, and their defense was awful, and they were able to mask that because their offense was just so efficient, and they move the ball up and down the field.
Yeah, I mean,
it
other teams'
like
offense is
nothing.
one-dimensional.
Exactly. They
So
had
the
to
Eagles
pass
can
against
control the
them.
clock, run the ball like they did in quite a few games last year.
Yeah, it
saw
wasn't consistent
You get defense. You get defense like they played against like the Steelers. You get defensive efforts that they played against. Even
Atlanta.
Atlanta, yeah.
The Vikings. I mean, we had even Dallas.
Yeah.
The defense held us in that game for as long as they possibly could, and the offense just gave it away.
Yeah.
They just gave it away. And the only guy on offense that we have that's a proven, like, really, really big-time threat is Alshon Jeffrey.
Yeah.
The other guys are still proving themselves. Torrey Smith's a threat at some points, but, we have the perfectly padded offense for a guy to come in and make an impact, but we also, on the double-edged sword end of things, we need a guy because the offense is kind of temporary if you look at it. In Jordan Matthews' contract coming up, Torrey Smith's not a long-term guy. You're going to be looking for another receiver outside of Alshon. You're going to be looking for a running back. So, I mean, it's just time to start getting some of those guys. And I think that building that offense around Wentz, it's really the first line of business for building this team. I think the defense is a little further along and they can continue to come along, but this offense needs to be fast-tracked with players stocked up for years to come, and that's what I think they're going to do in the draft.
Yeah, and that's what they're going to do, guys. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you later in the week for a Bird Buzz. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you around.